Hi, welcome back to Tammy's Home Tips. Today we're going to talk about home central air conditioning unit, the exterior part, and how we're going to make that more efficient by cleaning it out. This is super important because actually it's been so hot here. Like the last 2 days have been 108 degrees. And we realized, hey, we really need to clean out this outside unit. Not only will it help with efficiency, it will also help with the life of the unit, and it will help with keeping the inside of the house a lot cooler, and of course without all the extra energy that you have to use to get to that point. So I hope that you'll stick with me. I'm going to help you kind of walk through all the steps, so let's do it together.
The most important step when doing any sort of AC maintenance is to disconnect the power. Of course, we're going to be using a lot of water, so the last thing that we want is any live power around the AC unit. So I found the disconnect panel, and I'm going to remove the disconnect and put it on top of the disconnect panel in the same orientation that I took it out, and that will remind me which position to put it in again when I put it back in. So it won't be until after I disconnect this that I will move on to any other step. So although this is a Goodman unit, basically all AC units have a similar structure, so the process is basically the same. We are dealing with electrical hazards here. As a disclaimer, you should hire a licensed air conditioning technician or electrician for this part, but I'm just going to show you what I did. Now, even though I've shut it off at the disconnect, I am just checking to make sure that the wires are not live before I proceed any further. This next part is very important as well. Even though I've already disconnected the power from the unit, I can still get shocked by the run capacitor, which is this little silver cylinder inside the air conditioner here. This holds 440 volts of charge and can give me a pretty good shock since it stores power. So I'll need to discharge it before doing anything else. For this step, I'm actually wearing eye protection, rubber gloves, and I'm using a screwdriver with an insulated handle. So all I needed to do was take a screwdriver and touch the terminals to discharge it. So I'm touching the common terminal to the fan terminal, and then the common to the HERM terminal, and I'm going to just do it twice to make sure it's discharged. This may or may not produce a popping noise when performing this discharge. Now that I've completed that step, you will likely find some zip ties both on the outside and the inside of the unit. Go ahead and cut those to free up those wires. Okay, so this isn't something that we do every day, so take a picture of your wire schematic so that you can easily reassemble it and put it exactly where it needs to go at the end. Now I'm going to check the color of the wires that are connected to the fan so I can go ahead and get those disconnected. In my case, that meant pulling off the brown, the black, and the purple. Now for your unit, it might be a little different. You might be able to just pull the top off and the fan will have a wire long enough that you can just lean it up against the back without disconnecting anything. It's time now to pull the wires out and make sure that they are loose so you can pull the fan off the top. When you pull a fan off, make sure you pull it straight up and not across because you don't want to damage the coils when you're removing it, or the fan blades for that matter. So dirty. Do you believe that this unit is only 2 years old and we have cleaned it before? Not to worry, we're going to get this all cleaned up, and even on the inside we got to remove all of the leaves and everything. Again, we want to be gentle with all these steps. We don't want to damage the coils that are there because they're actually very delicate. So here you see it in all its glory of filth. But we're going to have to get this all cleaned up, including the track at the bottom, because that's where it drains out. Again, I'm going very gently here. I'm not pushing on the unit at all while I'm vacuuming. I'm just trying to gently remove the exterior dirt. Of course, if there's any grass growing through or anything, you definitely want to remove that. And as I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure you get all the leaves up from inside of the unit because we will be cleaning the inside as well. Now you're going to want to put a cleaning solution on the coils and let it sit on there a little while. I'm actually using Melaleuca Tough and Tender. It's a natural product, and that was just a personal preference, but a lot of people buy coil cleaners, and that's fine. It's just up to you what you want to use. I just decided to use this. While I'm letting the solution sit on the coils, I went ahead and cleaned the outside covers. It seemed like a good time, and then I'll let them drip dry up at the fence while I'm cleaning the coils. So you want to start with the inside, spraying to the outside, but I'm just showing you the outside step, and you'll just go ahead and spray it down. But you don't want to use like the highest setting, because even a high setting or a high water pressure can be too much for the coils and bend the coils, which is not what we're looking for. The coils will not function optimally if they are bent. So I am just being really careful with that. Also, I'm trying to spray in a downward direction so that the dirt flows downward and I'm not pushing the dirt inward. I'm just also cleaning out the track at the bottom and, you know, trying to get this dirt off. And as you can see, it's really coming out nice and clean. You also want to wash the inside of the unit. So I already pre-sprayed this with the cleaning solution before, and it will drain out and look clean. So the outside part of this AC unit had 4 parts to it, and I just basically had to hook them back together again, starting with the front. And then the back part was the last panel that I put on. It was the first one that I took off. And it doesn't hurt to take a picture also of your unit before you take it apart, just to make sure that you put all the screws back in the right place. I kind of had to examine a few spots a little bit more closely and figure out how they went back, and I'm sure having a picture would have helped with that. Not to worry though, I did get them all back together. Just a reminder, when you're putting the top back on, just go really easy so you don't damage the coils. Now I did need to grab my husband for this part so that he could hold the lid up while I fed the wires back through to the outside. This is where it came in really handy to take those pictures earlier. I could see exactly which wires connected to what ports, and it made it super easy to get everything connected back up again. Now we can just use a zip tie to get this all tied back up together again, and you're going to do this with the wires on the outside as well as the wires on the inside if they were zip tied before. Then we'll put the cover back on over the electrical. We're on the home stretch here. We just have one more step after this. If your breaker was anything like mine, the piece that came out was upside down. It seemed counterintuitive, so I'm glad I put it exactly the way I pulled it out on top, and I knew exactly how to put back in again.
We actually got it all cleaned out. It's running better. It's running cooler inside already, and we're super happy that we got this done. So don't be intimidated by these projects, and if this was helpful to you, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I have lots more videos like this, and hopefully if you need some inspiration to do these projects around your house, you can subscribe to my channel and we can do it together.